Hello everyone, welcome to Learn the Lingo. My name is Matthew, and this is the 14th video in our series in which we are learning how to read Hebrew. Today we are going to learn two new letters, and one of them is a 2-in-1. The 20th letter of the aleph-bet is Resh, which makes the R sound. The Resh can look kind of like a letter Dalet in certain fonts, so keep your eyes peeled for the difference. Remember that Resh is rounded on the corner. Let's make a word that starts with the Resh's R sound. After the Resh, we have a Vav with a Shuruk, which make the U sound, and the last letter in this word is a Chet. Now, remember that when Chet is at the end of a word, the last vowel before it cannot be a vowel that is not an A sound. When that happens, we have to put a patach under the Chet, which makes its sound before the Chet's. So this is pronounced with the A from the patach first, and then the Chet's guttural ch sound. So this word is ruach, which means wind or spirit. Now let's move on to the second to last Hebrew letter, which is a 2-in-1. This letter can either be a Shin or a Sin. If we put a dot on the top right corner of this letter, we make it a Shin. And if we put a dot on the top left corner, it is a Sin. With the dot on the top right, we have a Shin, which makes the sh sound. And if the dot is on the top left, it is a Sin and says s, just like a sonic. This dot seems to do the same thing as a dagesh, changing the sound of a letter. But there is an important difference. Whether a dagesh is in a letter or not does not change the meaning of a word, and a dagesh can be taken out of a letter in certain places in a sentence. A beit with dagesh has the same meaning as a beit without dagesh. But you cannot swap out a shin for a sin, or vice versa. If you change out one of these letters for another, then you get a word with a different meaning. The word sameach means happy. The s sound starting this word is from a letter sin, which is this letter with a dot on the top left. Under the sin is a kamatz, which makes the ah sound, and the next letter is a mem, which makes the sound. Under the mem is a tsere, which says a, and the last letter in this word is a chet, which makes a guttural ch sound. Now remember, a chet at the end of a word cannot be preceded by a vowel that is not an ah sound. When that happens, we have to put a patach under the chet, and the patach sound comes before the chet sound, and so this is pronounced ach. Sameach, happy. The Hebrew word for head has a letter shin with a dot on the top right. This word starts with a letter resh, which makes the r sound, and on the resh we have a cholam haser, which says o. Then we have an aleph. Aleph is silent, and this aleph has no vowel marker on it. When that happens with an aleph, we read the word as if the aleph wasn't there, and so we go straight to the next letter, which is the shin, which makes the sh sound. Rosh, head. Another word with a cholam haser and a letter shin is the name Moses in Hebrew. This word starts with a letter mem, which makes the sound, and on the mem is a cholam haser, which says o. Next we have this letter with a dot on the top right, which means this letter is a shin and says sh. And under the shin is a sigul, which says and the word ends with a silent hey, showing you that this word ends in a vowel sound. Moshe. Moshe is the Hebrew name for Moses. You can see that the cholam haser and this dot on the shin are very near each other, but even so you can tell that they are two separate dots. However, in some fonts, these dots may end up in the exact same place, like this. Even in this case, you can tell that this is also a cholam haser, because the mem has no other vowel marker on it, and this dot is right where a cholam haser would be. In this case, this dot is acting as both a dot for this letter, making it a shin, and as a cholam haser after the mem. Another thing about the cholam haser you need to be careful about is if it comes right after a vav. A vav with a regular cholam has no consonant sound and just says O. But if we have a vav followed by a cholam haser, that means that the vav still makes its v consonant sound, and then the cholam haser makes its O vowel sound. An example of this is the Hebrew word avon, which is one of the words for sin in Hebrew. In the Bible, this word is almost always spelled ayin, kamatz, vav, cholam haser, and final nun. Silent ayin, kamatz, a, vav, v, cholam haser, o, and final nun, n, avon. That's how to read it, but it may look like the vav is acting as an O vowel with a cholam. But you can tell it's not because 1, the cholam haser is a bit to the left of the vav instead of right above it, as a regular cholam would be, and 2, a consonant sound needs to be between the a and o vowels, so the vav must be pronounced as a consonant. V. Very rarely in Biblical Hebrew, though pretty common in modern Hebrew, this word may be spelled with 2 vowels, one acting as a v consonant sound, and one with a cholam making an o vowel sound. A, v, o, n. Avon. In review, today we learned the letter Resh, which makes the r sound, and the 2 in 1 letter, Shin and Sin. If this letter has a dot on the top right, it is a shin and makes the sh sound, and if it has a dot on the top left, it is a sin and makes the s sound. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and turning on notifications so you can know when I make a new video. Also, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like and shared it with your friends who you think would like to learn Hebrew. Goodbye.